Link!
Okay, so the title is Root Her.
Send it.
Oh boy.
Send it.
Okay, and again, we're back on topless robot, so you're gonna have to like ignore all the extra side stuff.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, he usually handles good stuff anyway. This is gonna be awesome. I bet.
Josh, you chose this.
I root her.
Josh.
The creature made its move. With a loud shriek, it threw itself against the panel next to the bolts Muldoon had loosened, ripping the door from its hinges and knocking the cage back, sending Joffrey crashing into the unforgiving jungle floor below and jarring every bone in his body. Howling in triumph, the creature shot out a brown, scaly limb and sunk a vicious saber-like claw into the workman's fleshy ankle, tearing through the muscle and bone and locking itself firmly in place. Joffrey screamed at the top of his lungs as he was dragged forcefully back inside the cage, powerless to resist the creature's superior strength. Muldoon suppressed an
Josh.
Muldoon suppressed an excited grin as he immediately began to shout instructions to the panic-stricken crew. Tasers, get in there, goddammit! You there! He motioned to one dumbstruck engineer. That's my terrible Australian accent.
Terrible.
Bring me 4 trank rifles, mate, a vial of nerve toxins, and a camera, goddammit, and make sure it's a bloody video camera this time.
Crikey.
Dingo! Joffrey howled in terror as his efforts to stay put failed. Unable to break the creature's hold, the cracked his head brutally against the side of the cage and lost all ability to resist. All his senses became groggy. A rank odor of decaying meat and feces lined the air of the cage, and it was all he could do to suppress the gag reflex the way his gym teacher had taught him. Why would your gym teacher teaching her? I questioned that.
Josh, continue reading.
As his head cleared slightly, he was able to make out the dreadful beast which had just snared him, standing almost 8 feet high, with mottled brown and green skin and rows of curved serrated teeth, was Velociraptor Antirhoppus. I think that's wrong. Also, even if it is right, the second word is supposed to be lowercase. A killing machine of almost unsurpassed intelligence, lethality, and sexual appetite.
Oh my god, no.
Josh, I warned you.
Its long forearms ended in 5 muscular digits, each sporting an intimidating-looking claw. It leered at him wickedly, and Joffrey knew that his end was nigh. Strangely enough, though, he didn't really mind.
What?
While Joffrey would have preferred not to die, his prehistoric Jack the Ripper was somehow the most beautiful creature he had ever seen.
Oh god, no.
From her lustrous amber eyes to her graceful prehensile tail.
Ah, gross.
Sorry.
They did not have prehensile tails.
No, I'm not sorry.
All the way to her muscular thighs and smooth, curvy foot claws. It would be an honor to be ravaged by such a goddess. Blissfully, and with complete disregard for his mutilated ankle and gashed open head, he reached out and smiled at the creature as she reared up and opened her jaws.
I just in awe hearing that. I guess he finally went insane.
By now, the activity outside the cage had reached pandemonium status. Frightened workers ran around like headless compies, trying to find a way to secure the cage and free their colleague. Okay, he's pretty dead. I mean, I would assume he's dead at this point. Like,
Oh yeah.
I
I mean, he's clearly delirious.
I wouldn't go in there. Like if you fell in the cage, what are you gonna do? In a state of calm bliss, Muldoon strode over to the radio and casually informed the Jurassic Park control sentry that they were ready for the other raptors now, and also while they were at it, perhaps a few crates of strong alcohol and some woman's clothing. Why? The first one I kind of get. The second one I don't get.
Keep reading.
Almost trembling with anticipation, but remaining outwardly stoic nonetheless, he loosened his belt and struck a match to light his pre-coital cigarette with.
Is he dying?
6 damn months. Well, now he was going to get some release. Grabbing the side of the broken cage, he hauled himself up and peeked through a gap in the roof to see how things were progressing. The Velociraptor had parted her jaws and looked about to strike, but suddenly she seemed to stop, as if unsure of herself. Joffrey was confused. Why hadn't this hot Cretaceous babe... Okay. I'm about to complain about something, and you're going to hate me for it.
Please go ahead.
Velociraptors existed in the Jurassic era, not the Cretaceous.
Oh, yeah.
I'm aware that out of that particular line, that being the thing that bothers me is pretty bad. But I just thought I'd throw it out there. Mauled him like the filthy descendant of the wretched shrew-like thing that he was. Why was he not being lovingly absorbed by the digestive system of this perfect carry-on scented Aphrodite?
Oh my goodness.
There are many ways to describe the Jurassic Park version of a Velociraptor. This is not one of them.
I know.
Almost as if he dared not speculate. He glanced up at her, still expecting the final strike that would end his sexually confused mammalian existence. Well, at least you're admitting you're really confused, because you definitely are. And saw at once that it would not come. Her eyes were still marked by a ferocious hunger, but it was not for shredded meat. She seemed to slave her. She clearly wanted the meat intact.
Is he bleeding out still?
Joffrey couldn't shut up. Joffrey couldn't believe his luck. Slowly she backed away from him, then coyly turned around so her bird-like hips were on full display, mere inches from his face.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
From this angle, he could see her smooth, hairless slit.
Oh my god!
As he began to drool, she started to shake her hips from side to side seductively, delicately spraying him with gallons upon gallons of dinosaur sex pheromones she had in some gland that all velociraptors had, but it didn't get fossilized with the rest of them because it was too soft somehow. What? Cautiously at first, lest he somehow alarm her or turn her off, because God forbid. Joffrey began to lightly rub the area around her velocigina.
Okay, I think he's dead at this point.
With his chin, nuzzling the rough, pebble-like folds of skin surrounding it with his tongue.
Ew!
The creature howled with terrifying primordial delight and thrust herself back against Jeffrey's mouth, knocking out his front teeth
Someone wrote this.
and
by the way.
ramming his lower jaw deep inside her.
Oh my god! Oh. By the way, he is still bleeding out, right?
Yes, Joffrey whispered seductively as he continued to work his magic on her with his mouth parts, delicately teasing her harsh, sandpaper-like clitoris as he did so. I know. I know. I know.
Oh, dude, I almost just threw up there for a second.
You know, even though there's a whole bunch of sick parts right now, since he's bleeding out, blood usually increases when you're in that type of desire. You would have been either passed out or just dead at this point.
Moose, hold on. I'm sorry. Are you trying to bring medical logic into
Yes, I
a
am.
story that literally just used the word velocigina?
Yes. And I almost threw up just now, so I have every right.
From his vantage point,
I am sick to my
From
stomach.
his vantage point on top of the cage, Muldoon could see that things were progressing far better than he ever could have hoped for. "You there!" she shouted at the engineer again, who had returned with the equipment he had been asked to retrieve. "Get up here and set that video camera up. The rest of you find some bloody tasers, dingo."
Quit adding words, Josh.
Shut up. The Velociraptor continued to bellow and howl and echo her savage, predatorial joy across the construction site as Jeffrey brought her halfway to climax.
Oh, fine.
With one exaggerated movement, she threw her hips violently to one side, dislodging Jeffrey's lower jaw from her
Okay.
from her deep, hot
My eyes are rolling to the back of their head.
from her deep, hot minge and hammering him against the side of the cage.
Okay. When it did say dislodging his lower jaw, I thought that was gross. It's kind of sad when I read the sentence in its entirety. It's not quite as gross as I thought.
Winded.
And we're talking about deep, hot dinosaur minge.
Oh, stop it! I'm having trouble continuing. I actually feel sick.
You're not the only one, buddy, and you're actually the one that's reading it.
I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. Winded.
Oh yeah, you are.
Winded, he collapsed to the floor, his face a brutal-looking mess of blood, bone, flesh, dinosaur sex pheromones, and primeval vaginal juices.
I would want to be shot at that point. Just fucking end me.
The Velociraptor was a merciless predator,
Oh God.
but she was not a selfish lover. It was time now to reciprocate.
Huh?
As Jeffrey lay battered on the cage floor, barely able to move, she approached him and lightly rested her perfectly shaped foot on his crotch. Even through his dislocated muscle, she could feel the bulge. She grinned, as all velociraptors are pretty much forced to do because of their bone structure.
I thought you added it that long.
No!
I know. That would have been even worse.
That's what it says. And with one deft flick of her curved toe claw, she tore through the lining of his pants and exposed his engorged, throbbing member. Jeffrey mumbled with ecstasy through his maimed features as the creature appraised him. She was mildly disappointed by the lack of insemination barbs on his manhood.
Okay, that's hilarious. That's side note. That's hilarious.
But But she had come this far now. Invested too much time to stop the process this close to completion. Wrapping her tail around his waist, she pulled him to his feet and slammed herself back against his erect cock.
Josh, I want it noted for the record. You wanted to read this. I said no.
Moaning wickedly as it pushed apart the sides of her opening and entered her. Little bubbles of pleasure formed in the red-black foam on Jeffrey's mouth.
Oh.
I think it's gonna be sick.
She forced herself further back, taking him deep inside her.
Oh my god! Oh, and I thought the first thing was bad. Oh.
On top of the cage, the camera was nearly ready. You missed a lot, Muldoon. Muldoon could take no more, whipping off his safari shorts and pulling out his very own big game.
No.
He wrapped his hands around it and began to rhythmically jerk off as the confused and terrified engineer pointed the camera where he was told to. I don't want to read the next sentence.
Someone actually wrote this.
Oh, that's right. Get it all on the tape. All on the tape. He groaned as he energetically pumped his purple...
So I'm assuming they're gonna sell this on the fucking black market or something?
Pumped his purple shotgun.
His purple shotgun. Oh my god.
The Velociraptor was grinding and bucking back against Joffrey with terrifying savagery now, and she could feel the warmth beginning to build up in her nether regions as his rod-hard dick slammed in and out of her orifice. Fervently, she rocked against the side of the cage, ignoring Joffrey's impassioned gurgling noises as she brought herself closer and closer to a meteoric climax.
Why is that word been used twice?
I don't know.
In the past 2 sentences.
I don't know.
This guy loves being descriptive.
Keep shooting, Muldoon moaned as he prepared to do some shooting of his own.
Oh god.
Shoota! Shoota! Okay.
Oh my god. This gives all new meaning to the opening scene.
Finally, the raptor could take it no more. Squealing as if she intended to drown out all other sounds that had ever been made by anything in the history of ever, she came hard and fast, her vaginal walls constricting around Jeffrey like a vice, as wave after wave of putrid Velociraptor-love Tabasco squirted everywhere.
Okay.
You could not have made that sound less appealing if you tried.
My stomach is starting to hurt.
Dousing the floor and walls of the cage in a layer of horribleness half an inch thick.
Josh, you wanted to read this, right? I get you for this.
This isn't what I wanted. I never asked for this. This is disgusting even by dinosaur sex fanfic standards. Like, really?
Oh man, holy shit.
Joffrey screamed in agony as his frail, warm-blooded member was crushed.
Why?
by,
Why?
by,
Just kill her!
merciless barrage and tried desperately to pull out of her, but it was too late. In a final act of climax, she spun around again, taking him with her and cracking his spine in two. Acting on pure instinct, she sank her powerful jaws into the sides of his skull and bit down hard, ripping his head clean in half and scattering flesh and blood everywhere. You know what the worst part is? That her ripping his head apart is actually the least disgusting thing so far.
Alright.
As her teeth entered his
That's
brain...
pretty tame compared to what we just
What?
read.
Oh, sorry, I read ahead. As her teeth entered his brain, they triggered his pleasure and pain senses, sending him at once into the most disturbingly intense agony a human can possibly experience and bringing him to such heights of ecstasy as humankind can only dream of. Then he died.
That's impossible.
Josh,
Oh my god.
that's all I got.
Then!
Just turn on Skype real quick.
Why?
Yeah, I
That's all I
completely-
got. I got nothing. I'm done.
Understood. Then, as she wolfed down what had once been the greater part of a young man's head, her body was racked by more uncontrollable spasms. She writhed and flopped all over the cage, all movement out of her control, and by now, rallied workers fired taser shots and... A little late to the party, aren't you? After taser shot through the cage door, each one making contact with her and sending powerful electric shocks through her body. A sound not dissimilar to that of a former Kenyan gamekeeper ejaculating emanated from the cage roof above. And as she spasmed on the floor, she could feel a sticky, warm liquid trickle onto her from above.
Ugh.
Oh yes, they should all be destroyed. Muldoon groaned to himself as he shot his load through the hole in the cage roof and sank happily to his knees. As the workers continued to shock the Velociraptor into submission, a low rumbling noise was heard. Oh, jolly good, Muldoon thought to himself. Sounds like the others are on their way. Excitedly, he put his shorts back up and rallied the remaining workforce. Come on, you lot, he declared. 1 down, 7 more to go.
This story was written by Michael Collins and was sent to me by David Catt. So blame them. You know what's worse?
What?
Josh, continue reading on in the final paragraph.
The International Jurassic Park Erotic Fanfiction Writers Association.
Yeah.
A love that never grows extinct.
Oh, good news is apparently it's gone.
That has to be one of the most disgusting things I've ever read in my life.